Sox fans alike had little difficulty describing how they felt about their sudden turn of fortune.
What's it like? Well, I guess it would be like being stranded on a desert island with Jacqueline Smith, really. I mean, things like this come around once in a lifetime.
Thinking that you have the lottery, and then all of a sudden you find out the wrong numbers were reported or something. I don't know.
Oh, God, it's like winning $1 million in a lottery.
Maybe death. Death would be about it. The closest thing that you could come to.
Oh, it's like being reborn again.
I think the emotion is extreme depression. Extreme depression. Ecstasy.
But September turned out to be anything but ecstatic. After being hunted by the Yankees, the Red Sox caught fire and began to do some hunting of their own. They closed the gap to 1 game as the two teams began a dance of death in the final week. With 2 games left in the season, Ed Figueroa shut out Cleveland to protect a 1-game lead and assure the Yankees of a tie. Figgy also realized a lifetime ambition as he became the first native Puerto Rican to win 20 games in a season. But when the Yankees went for the clincher the next day, lefty Rick Waits closed the door, a 9-2 Cleveland win. It was the news they'd waited for all week long up at Fenway Park. The Yankees had finally lost one. Louis Tiant put Toronto to rest with a 2-hit shutout, and Boston made a comeback of its own. For only the second time in American League history, 2 teams finished in a tie for first. They'd play 1 game at Fenway Park to finally settle which team was better. And so after 162 games, New York and Boston had settled nothing at all. They would play game number 163 at the same site where the first American League playoff was played 30 years earlier, Fenway Park. The Yankees certainly didn't want it to come down to this, but Bob Lemon had prepared his pitching rotation for the possibility, and the man he wanted was ready. With a 24-3 record, the Yankees had the best pitcher in baseball on the mound. But Guidry had to fight exhaustion from a long, tough season. Mike Torres, the man who helped pitch the Yankees to the World Series the year before, was out to stop them this time, and he was tough. The Yankees managed only 2 hits over the first 6 innings. In the second inning, Boston's great veteran Carl Yastrzemski pulled a Guidry fastball inside the foul pole. Fenway Park erupted. The Red Sox led 1-0. Mounted with every inning. In the bottom of the 6th, Boston made it 2-0 with 2 on. Fred Lynn made a bid for more, but Lou Piniella fought a brutal son. That ended the inning, and it turned the game around. In the top of the 7th, the Yankees finally began to make progress off Torres, who had been tormenting them all afternoon. With 2 on and 2 out, Bucky Dent fouled this pitch off his foot. While everyone waited for Bucky to get a little first aid, Mickey Rivers did a strange thing. He had the bat boy exchange Dent's bat for one that Rivers claimed had a home run in it. That was a bold prediction because Dent was scarcely famed as a Bronx bummer until he stepped back into the batter's box. A high, tantalizing fly to left that never came down. A 3-run homer. It could only have happened in this ballpark. Suddenly, the Yankees led 3-2, and Fenway Park was a mortuary. Just like Brooklyn will never forget the name of Bobby Thompson, so Boston will have a tough time forgetting the name Bucky Dent. The Red Sox were staggered by the blow. The Yankees added another run that inning. In the 8th, Reggie Jackson made it 5-2. And for Boston, time appeared to be running out. But this game refused to be easy. In the bottom of the 8th, the Sox picked themselves up against Goose Gossage and rallied for 2 runs. That made it 5-4, a 1-run ball game, and once again, bedlam in Boston. Now in the bottom of the 9th, the Yankees were desperately trying to hold off the Boston attack. Rick Burlston walked with 1 out, and Jerry Remy followed with a shot to right. This had to be the play of the year. Lou Piniella is completely blinded by the sun, but he estimates where the ball will land and stops it from skipping by. Burleson has to stop at second. Had he gone to third, the game could have been tied on Jim Rice's ensuing fly ball. But now it's 2 outs, the tying run at third. And everyone waited for Yastrzemski at the bat. Goose delivered his best, and Yaz popped it up. One Yankee said, this game was hell. The Red Sox had to agree. The Yankees were Eastern Division champs, but it sure didn't come easy. And that was one of the biggest pressure wins in Yankee history. But the players had little time to savor it before flying off to Kansas City for the championship series. While New York had beaten Kansas City twice before, many writers favored the Royals because the Yankee pitching rotation was scrambled. A reformed Jim Beattie, back from the minors, was forced to open the series. But Beattie, along with Ken Clay, combined to hold the Royals to 2 hits and 1 run. A scorching Yankee offense took care of the rest. In the 8th, Reggie Jackson, now wearing his October Superman suit, was batting with 2 men on. Ace reliever Al Hrabosky doing his patented psych routine. Kansas City had acquired the Mad Hungarian for situations just like this. But Reggie took him downtown for 3 big runs. If anyone was psyched at that moment, it had to be the Royals. The Yankees won that one easily. The Royals won the next one, so the series resumed at Yankee Stadium for the best 2 out of 3. In the first game, the 2 teams attacked each other like mad dogs. Catfish Hunter might have had an excellent outing that day were it not for one problem, George Brett. Brett is not known for hitting the long ball, except perhaps at Yankee Stadium. In this game, he hit 1, 2, 3 home runs, a league championship record. Fortunately for New York, all came with the bases empty. But the Yankees also had to deal with some other problems, like strange calls by the umpires. Remember this one? Mickey Rivers appears to make a brilliant inning-ending catch. Looks like he had it for sure. But the umpire said no, it was trapped. Fortunately, the Royals didn't score that inning. Tempers really erupted in the bottom of the 4th. Greg Nettles flies to left with 1 out. Piniella at third. Lou tags and steams home. As umpire Ron Luciano saw it, Piniella was out. It appeared this just might not be the Yankees' day. With old nemesis Paul Splittorff on the mound, the Yankees needed all the offense they could get. Reggie Jackson, now practically unstoppable, gave the Yankees enough to keep them in the ballgame. This 6th inning sacrifice fly was Reggie's 3rd RBI of the day and put the Yankees ahead of George Brett and company 4-3. But the Royals snapped back to regain a 5-4 lead. Now reliever Doug Bird was in to protect it in the bottom of the 8th. A runner at first, Thurman Munson at the plate. The ball took off with a gap in deep left center field. Dead man's alley and just kept going. A 460-foot blast by a guy who had hit only 6 home runs all year due to a banged-up shoulder. That won one very tough ball game and gave the Yankee fans every confidence that their team would now win its 3rd pennant in a row. And why not, since they now needed only one more victory and had Mr. Guidry on the mound. He pitched with savvy and guts, but needed help. Mickey Rivers gave him some. So did Greg Nettles. And then Thurman Munson, nipping speedster Willie Wilson. Clutch Yankee defense helped hold the Royals to 1 run. Greg Nettles got that run back with a 2nd inning home run. In the 6th inning, it was old reliable Roy White who did what he's done so often in the past. A clutch homer to put him ahead 2-1. One last hero remained to clinch a pennant. Goose Gossage relieving Guidry in the 9th with nobody out. A potential tying run at 2nd. The Goose got 2 quick outs and finally put away Pete Lecoq for the 3rd. And that was it. Celebration time again in New York for the 32nd pennant in Yankee history. The sweetest of all because it didn't come easy. But one last river remained to be crossed. The World Series. It's an old cliche. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, a lot of things had changed since October '77. But here were the Dodgers and the Yankees again in the World Series for the 10th time. The favorite Dodgers came out swinging. A determined Davy Lopes led them to an easy victory in the opener at Los Angeles, and they held a tight 4-3 lead in the top of the ninth in Game 2. With 2 away, the stage was set for a dramatic confrontation between rookie reliever Bob Welch and Reggie Jackson. Normally, with a runner at first and 2 outs, the pressure would be on the hitter. But Reggie's growing October legend shifted equal pressure on young Welch. This time, it was youth over legend. It was a psychological victory for Los Angeles, but more important, it gave the Dodgers a commanding 2-0 lead in games as the sun set before Game 3 at Yankee Stadium. All season long, when New York needed its stopper, Ron Guidry was there. This time, he got a major assist from another stopper at the hot corner. All told, Greg Nettles saved him at least 4 runs, maybe many more. Who can forget it? One of the greatest defensive shows in series history. Most of the plays made under intense pressure. It was 2-1 Yankees in the 5th inning, bases loaded. In the 6th inning, still 2-1, and again the bases loaded. Nettles bails Guidry out again. The Yankees later rallied to a 5-1 final, but without their magician at third base, they'd have been down 3 games to none. Now it's 2 games to 1. Tommy John looked in command with a 3-0 lead in the 6th inning of Game 4 when the winds of fortune swirled with 2 on, 1 out. Lou Piniella's smash was dropped by shortstop Bill Russell, who steps on second to force Reggie Jackson. But then as he tries for the double play, his throw hits Reggie. Out of the confusion comes Thurm Munson, scoring from second. And into the confusion steps Tom Lasorda, hotter than pepperoni on the 4th of July. To the Dodgers skipper, it was a clear-cut case of player interference. It was Jackson's duty to try to get out of the way of the throw, but Reggie obviously never considered such a call to duty. A classic example of manager's play. Your manager will love you for it, while the opposing manager cries foul. No World Series is complete without a controversial call, and this one pulled the Yankees within 1 run. They later tied it in the 8th, and finally in the bottom of the 10th, Lou Piniella came through with a hit, and that finished the Dodgers. Roy White scored the winning run, and the Yankees had evened the series up to 2 games apiece. Comeback fever was burning in Yankee Stadium again, like a thoroughbred hitting full stride in the final links. The Yankees were now ready to pass the Dodgers.